Hello, my name is Paul Marshall. I'm the instructor for physiological chemistry. During this video, I'm going to go over a little bit of the syllabus as well as navigating Blackboard website. So, where you can find the syllabus when you go to Blackboard, if you look, you'll see a tab that says Syllabus and Course Info. You want to click on that, and then you'll see on there that it says physiological chemistry. It says attached files. Just click on the attached file. When you do that, you're going to find. Okay, so I showed you where the physiological chemistry syllabus is, but let's take a look at the assignments. Okay, so when you navigate to the class site, we already looked at this syllabus and course info. What you want to do is use the course content. So this right here. So when you click on that, that's going to bring you to the assignments. So you see the units in there. Okay, so let's say I'm going to click on Unit 1. So in Unit 1, what you're going to see are the notes. So you see them right here. So if you click on that, that will be the notes for the class. Okay, so if you click, it's a PDF document. And those are the notes you want to take a look at and read. Okay. And then let's go back into the unit again. Also, I have a YouTube video that you can watch. This one has some of the notes for the unit. And then you'll see over here, it says Understanding Common States of Matter Informational Handout. So that's something I put together for you to look at what the different states of matter are. So it's just some examples. And there's another one, physical and chemical properties. This just is some examples because some people have difficulty distinguishing between physical and chemical properties. So that's another PDF document. So these two are not for credit, they're just for explanations. And then I have another video. This is the Unit 1 review question answer. So I'm giving you the answers. So I'm expecting you to try to answer the questions and then submit it and then look at the answers. And then here we have the Unit 1 review questions. So that says 10 points. That's for credit. So if you click on here, you'll see it tells you the, actually, ignore that due date. I have to change that. But this is how you can submit it. And you'll see right here, Unit 1 review questions. You click on this. Those are the questions that you want to answer. Now, when you're answering these questions, if it's an open response question, always use complete sentences. I'll take off credit for not using complete sentences. If it's a math problem, I will only give you credit for it if you actually write out all that math that goes to it. So for instance, number 4, how many millimeters are in 57.7 meters? That's something where I want you to actually not just write the answer, but specifically show me the calculation that got you to that answer. All right, and then number 6, how would you know a reaction was endothermic and exothermic? I want you to use a complete sentence when you're answering that. Okay. And then when you take quizzes, let me go back to you one. And sorry, I should go back there. Once you answer the question and you want to submit it as a PDF, and you can use your phone. If you're not sure how to do that, you can actually use your phone in most cases. Apple phones are very easy for doing this. If you use the notes on your Apple phone, if you have one, you can actually scan the document, and then you can submit the document as a PDF with the answers to it. So, for instance, let's go to Unit 1 review questions. If you click on here, what you want to do is click on this upload files, and you can actually browse your computer and upload it onto there. Okay, and then when you're done, what you want to do is you want to hit submit, and then that will be attached to your gradebook, and then I will see that. And then what I've done is that you can submit, let's say you make a mistake, you can submit your assignments as many times as you want. Quizzes, when you take the quizzes, right, it'll say, it'll ask you questions. You're going to click on the answers for them and either fill in the blank or multiple choice. And then when you hit save and submit, it'll grade it. And you'll see the grade in your grade book. If you're not happy with the grade, you could retake it again, as long as it's within the due date. Now for quizzes, I made it so that it's unlimited submissions. So you can submit it as many times as you want. And the highest grade is the one that will be used as your final grade for the assignment. Okay? Now, the test is also the same way. However, you can take the test 3 times. So these are all the 8 units with all the assignments that you have. Now, if you miss a lab, and again, you only can make up 2 labs, and you only can do them with the makeup labs that I have on Blackboard. If you look, you'll see a link over here. It says makeup labs. When you click on that, that's going to bring you to a couple of makeup labs, and you can use either one of those as your makeup. And what you want to do is you want to submit it for the date. The lab that you missed, you want to submit it in its place. Okay, and I think that's about everything I wanted to go over. And I will go over this in lab. So if you have questions, please let me know. Oh, one final thing. For the first lab, you want to make sure you bring goggles. Not safety glasses, but goggles. And what I mean by goggles is you want splash goggles. So let me show you an example. All right, you want to buy goggles like this. And you'll notice that this one has a strap on it, and it covers, actually, when you put it on, it will go right up to your face, against your face. You don't want to use safety glasses, and I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, you don't want to wear, you do not want to use glasses, safety glasses like this. These are intended for impact protection. They're not intended for splash protection. The glasses that I showed you, the goggles that I showed you previously, those are intended for protecting against splash. And splash is the hazard that we would have, not from impacts. Okay, so now when you, and again, this is the goggles. the splash goggles, you want to use something like this. Okay, this goggle here would be appropriate for splash protection. Please bring goggles in the first day of lab. I will award you 5 points for bringing the goggles in the first day of lab. If you bring it in the second lab, it's only 2.5 points. After that, there's no credit given for the goggles. Okay, I will let you want to bring them every class. Most of the labs that we do, you're required to wear the goggles during the lab. All right. If you have any questions, please contact me. I will be going over the the makeup of the class a little bit more on our first night of lab, as well as I'll go over lab safety. Okay. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting everybody. So I'm showing the Tuesday night syllabus, but the Monday night syllabus is also the same. So if you have either class, the times that we meet are different, but essentially the syllabus is the same thing. So I'm going to go over a little bit on this, and specifically, let me talk about the course itself. Just generally speaking, this is an introductory chemistry class. It's a 4-credit course. There's a 3-hour lecture, and the 3-hour lecture is all online. And then we have a 3-hour lab, and the lab meets on Monday night for my class. For Monday night class, it meets from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. My Tuesday night class, it meets from 5:30 to 8:20. One reason you notice is that the Monday night class, the labs are longer because there's fewer of them because of holidays that occur on Mondays. So the number of Monday labs is actually less than the number of Tuesday night labs. The course description, essentially what we're going to do, and you could read this, but essentially what we're going to cover is starting with the atom. We'll look at chemical atom and the parts of the atom, chemical bonds. We'll look at molecules. We're also going to take a look at the cell and cell parts, so organelles, and then we'll do some biochemistry. And so the idea behind this lab is to give you some background information, background knowledge to prepare you for other classes that you would require for the health fields. And then you can read the course objectives. I won't go over those by piece. Now the course materials, you're not required to purchase a textbook for this lab. For this class or lab. I do have links in the notes for a free online textbook that I assign readings to. I also have videos that I produce that I have on YouTube, and I have links to them in Blackboard, and I may add some during this semester. There's also quizzes and tests and other homework that is completed. So all the materials are provided for you on Blackboard. The labs, there's no lab textbook or lab book. All the labs are located in Blackboard. You're responsible for printing them up and bringing them to lab. I would recommend that you print them all up at the beginning of the semester and bring them all. I'll announce typically the week before what lab we're going to do. So next week, which are the first labs, you want to print up the metrics lab, and I'll show you that when we look at Blackboard. So the best thing is to print them all up and bring them, because the order we go in may change depending on the availability of materials. The method of instruction, I have notes online as well as I have videos that I've made, and sometimes I have other videos that I'll link to that are provided by uh, other sources. The notes, read the notes, complete the reading, as well as watch the videos in preparation for. And probably the best thing to do in the order is first do the homework. You want to submit the homework. Um, then you want to take quizzes and then take tests. And the labs that we do will supplement what we're doing in lecture. But the order in which we do the labs doesn't necessarily correspond with what we're doing in lecture. It's there's not It's hard to actually make it so that they exactly correlate, just because the speed at which we go in lab may be different than what we do in lecture. Late assignments. If you submit an assignment that's late, 10% was deducted from the final grade of that assignment. The labs themselves, there's no makeup of labs. In other words, if you miss a lab, there are two makeup labs that are available on Blackboard. If you miss beyond two labs, there's no makeup. If you miss a lab day, you don't make up what's occurred during that lab. You would use a makeup lab. And again, if you miss more than two labs, there's no makeup for any reason. Also, I will provide classroom assignments that supplement what we're talking about in lecture. If you miss, and it doesn't matter for for any reason, if you miss a lab, you cannot make up any classwork that was done during that. So if I do practice problems, such as molarity, if I did that during class with the class, I pass out. I'll have them submit it. You would not be able to make that up after if you miss that lab. It doesn't matter whether it's for an illness or anything. And the reason being is I want to encourage people to attend labs, but also the way that I teach it and the way that we go over, it's a learning activity. It's not something that you can do on your own. It's something that can be done in lab, but not something on your own. Okay. The basis for grading, I use a point system. So you earn a certain number of points during the semester. That number is divided by the total points that could possibly be earned, and then you get a percent. And I use the following grade scale. So if you look, you'll see right here that I have this grading scale. That's what I'm going to use. Okay. And this part you can take a look. Let's look at the at the schedule. So there are, and you can see on here, there's 8 units. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of the units includes quizzes, homework. There's also labs, and there's tests. The tests themselves are not cumulative. It's just going to cover. So if you look, you'll see the first test is in Unit 2, and it's for Units 1 and 2. That test is just going to cover Units 1 and 2. If you look at the next test, it's going to be in Unit 4 for Units 3 and 4. This test will only be for Units 3 and 4. It's not going to cover material necessarily or directly from Units 1 and 2. However, I should say some of the skills or some of the tools that you learn previously may be required for a test later on. Okay. Now, if you look, what I've done is I've put the point value as well as the due date. Now, if you want to know if an assignment is required to be passed in, simply look to see if there is a grade next to it, or point value. So if we look at Unit 1, what you notice, it says quiz, Unit 1 quiz, 28 points, due September 16th. So you want to complete Unit 1 quiz, and classes start on September 4th. So you want to start those assignments September 4th. You have until the 16th to complete those. So it's Unit 1 quiz, Unit 1 review questions, and then we'll complete the metric measurements lab in lecture next week and the following week. Those are all assignments that they need to be submitted. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I will open up the units, and I'll let you guys know when I open the units up. But the units will open up in sequence. So Unit 1, then Unit 2, then Unit 3, then Unit 4, and up until Unit 8. All right. Now let's take a look at the Blackboard webpage. 5, 6, 7, and 8 units.